Question DS. If x is greater than 0, is x less than y, which is less than z? Condition 1. X is less than 3 times y, which is less than 5 times z. Condition 2. 5 times x is less than 3 times y, which is less than z. Solution. Let us solve this DS question through the variable approach. The fourth fundamental concept in inequality. When a is greater than 0 and we add a to both sides, the direction of the inequality sign will not change. If a is greater than 0, then a plus a is greater than 0 plus a, or 2 times a is greater than a. When a is smaller than 0 and we add a to both sides, the direction of the inequality sign will not change. If a is less than 0, then a plus a is less than 0 plus a, or 2 times a is less than a. The first property of inequality. Multiplying or dividing an inequality by a positive number does not change the direction of the inequality sign, which is positive rule in inequality. If a is greater than b, then a times x is greater than b times x, and a over x is greater than b over x, where x is greater than 0. Let's apply the 3 steps of the variable approach. Follow the first step of the variable approach by modifying and rechecking the original condition and the question. We are required to verify whether x is less than y, which is less than z, if x is greater than 0. So the answer to this question will be in terms of a unique yes or no, which is called Common Mistake Type 1, that is CMT1. This is a 50-51 level question. In particular, integer and statistics questions frequently appear in the exam, but inequality questions also appear in the exam from time to time. Follow the second and the third steps. From the original condition, we have 3 variables, x, y, and z, and 1 equation, x is greater than 0. To match the number of variables with the number of equations, we need 2 more equations. Since conditions 1 and 2 will provide 1 equation each, C would most likely be the answer. Recall 3 principles and choose C as the most likely answer. Let us take a look at conditions 1 and 2 together. Condition 1 tells us that x is less than 3 times y, which is less than 5 times z, while condition 2 tells us that 5 times x is less than 3 times y, which is less than z. So, using the third fundamental concept in inequality, we can add the equations without changing the sign to get 5 times x plus x is less than 3 times y plus 3 times y, which is less than z plus 5 times z, which is 6 times x is less than 6 times y, which is less than 6 times z. We can then divide the equation by 6 to get x is less than y, which is less than z, by the first property of inequality, which is positive rule in inequality. The answer is a unique yes, so the conditions combined are sufficient by CMT1, which states that the answer will be in terms of a unique yes or no. Thus, C seems to be the answer. However, since this question is an inequality question, which is also one of the key questions, also by tip 4, a trivial condition usually may not be the answer. That is, C may not be the answer. We should apply CMT4A, which states that if answer C is found too easily, either A or B should be considered as a possible answers. Let's check each condition separately. Condition 1 tells us that x is less than 3 times y, which is less than 5 times z. Thus, if x equal to 1 and y equal to 2 and z equal to 3, then x equal to 1 is less than 3 times y, that equals to 3 times 2, which equals to 6, that is, less than 5 times z, that equal to 5 times 3, that equals to 15. That is, 1 is less than 6, which is less than 15, and x equal to 1 is less than y equal to 2, which is less than z equal to 3. Thus, we will get the answer yes for is x less than y, which is less than z. If x is 1, y is 2, and z is 3. However, if x equal to 1, and y equal to 1, and z equal to 1, x equal to 1, that is less than 3 times y, which equal to 3 times 1, that equals to 3, which is less than 5 times z, that equals to 5 times 1, which equals to 5. That is, 1 is less than 3, which is less than 5. But x equal to 1 is not less than y equal to 1, which is not less than z equal to 1. Thus, we will get the answer no, for is x less than y, which is less than z, if x equal to y, which equals to z, which also equals to 1. By applying CMT1, we see that this condition is not sufficient since we get both yes and no as an answer, thus did not get a unique answer. Condition 2 tells us that 5 times x is less than 3 times y, which is less than z. So by the fourth fundamental concept, since x is greater than 0, then z is greater than 0, and we can write 3 times x is less than 5 times x, which is less than 3 times y, which is less than z, which is also less than 3 times z. That is, 3 times x is less than 3 times y, which is less than 3 times z, by the first fundamental concept in inequality. Then dividing the inequality by 3, by the first property of inequality, which is positive rule in inequality, we get x is less than y, which is less than z. According to CMT1, this condition is, therefore, sufficient, as it gives a unique answer that is yes. If the question has both C and B as its answer, then B is an answer rather than C by the definition of DS questions. Also, this question is a 50/51 level question and can be solved by using the variable approach and the relationship between common mistake type 3 and 4, A or B. Condition 2 alone is sufficient. Thus, B is the correct answer. Answer B.